Hello everybody and welcome back to the third episode of Online Career Mode. Today we've got 4 games: Watford Huddersfield, a rivalry match against Derby, and finally a European match against Mainz in the Europa League. Also, the transfer window is just opening in Online Career Mode, so I'm going to need your suggestions for where I should strengthen my squad. I'm looking to maybe replace Sam Basso in midfield and Michael Esser in goal, so if you have suggestions for a goalkeeper, a defensive midfielder, or maybe a striker so we can move Hanani back out onto the wing, please do let me know ASAP, and I might consider signing them in the next week or so. Anyway, starting off with this game against Watford. It's an away game, so we're in London for this, and as always, we do concede an early goal. You can see it here after just 5 minutes, a through ball slipped straight through to Coman, and he scored easily. However, 2 minutes later, we're on the counter-attack, Lingard with a cross, and we forced them into an own goal. If he hadn't done that, it's definitely a header goal for Hanani, who once again is looking pretty lethal. Hanani's getting through here with his pace, Pallison just doesn't have anywhere near the speed to keep up with him, chips over the goalkeeper who came out probably a little bit recklessly. Shaqiri again through to Hanani, not quite a goal, but another good chance for him. Showing off his pace versus the centre-back here, you can see how fast he closed in. Even though we didn't get a chance, it still forced the AI into a bit of a mistake there with the goalkeeper. But Watford nearly get an equaliser in the 30th minute. Thankfully, it's a wayward effort, and it's back on Nottingham Forest to be attacking. We do a low cross in, Hanani goes around the goalkeeper but runs off the pitch, so close. Lingard is really on fire in this game. He's not played this well for us at all. You can see there he does a couple of tricks, some kick-ups, bursting into the box, but not quite there. Shaqiri passes it through to Lingard, who has a volley blocked. Lingard is absolutely on fire in this game. He's not played anywhere near this well for us, and even though we are getting quite a few lucky bounces, as you can see there, ending up with a Matty Cash chance, we do make it into half-time ahead. 2-1, and I think we probably deserve it based on the chances. Although Watford did miss that quite easy chance from about the same place Shaqiri just scored from, showing that Shaqiri is a lot more lethal than Coman, who I think is from Schalke in real life. Lingard here, once again, another good ball, and it's another Elia goal. A bit more flair on that than Hanani probably would have put on it, but you know, 5-star skills, you gotta do them. Hanani now getting through once again, making it 5-1 in the 81st minute. This is what tends to happen in the online career mode. You do maybe have tight games till about the 60th minute, but as players tire and people bring on their faster substitutes, the scores really do pile up. I'm not sure we deserved a 5-1 victory there. I think maybe a 3-1 or a 2-1 would have been a fair victory for Nottingham Forest. You can see the stats on screen there, and we're going to get into the second match. Now this one's against Huddersfield, who have a slightly stronger team than Watford, which is quite hard to believe given how they start off in the actual real life when you start off with a save. Anyway, we're at home, so we're going to be playing at the City Ground in Nottingham. There was a fair amount of delay here on the controls for both of the players, so both me and Danny both agreed that it was happening, so there's not an unfair advantage there from either of us. However, it definitely did impact the quality of the play. Because both me and Huddersfield play a fairly similar style of getting the ball to our fast players, in his case he's got Onyekuru on the wing and Openda, with Boyd as a target man through the middle, and with me Hanani, Shaqiri and Lingard on the wings, with Acosta of course coming off the bench with Elia. It's going to be fairly interesting to see who can break through the defence. However, you can see it's Huddersfield who in fact did manage it. Boyd crosses it into an unmarked Openda after I did a second man press that I really shouldn't have done, and once again Forest are still chasing their first clean sheet under my stewardship. Now, Openda really had an easy goal there. It was just in the box. There's not really too much I could have done other than not done a second man press. But we need to get back with a nice quick response. And that's exactly what we do. A nice back heel from Shaqiri, straight to Hanani's path. Easy goal for us. However, Openda, straight away, after half time, easy goal. Shaqiri, nice back heel again to Hanani. Another easy goal. You can see where this is going. This is a very high scoring game, and there wasn't too much happening outside of the goals. So now it's 3-2 after 60 minutes. Here's Openda outrunning Fosu Mensah, who he had accidentally picked in his squad as well, making it 3-3. But that's basically all there was that happened in the game. One late shot right there before the game ended. It ends 3-3. Unfortunately, delay hampered both of our styles of play. We couldn't really dribble with our faster players, but we still managed to get a point, which is fair enough. After the game, there was actually a bit of drama where Huddersfield had to replay some games because of Fosu Mensah. Now unfortunately I've got to show you this game against Derby County, which I really wish I didn't have to include on this. I thought it was fair enough to have to include it though, just to show how bad I can be in some games. It's not really a spoiler, but we do lose pretty heavily in this one. Poor defending throughout. You can see there I missed 2 standing tackles. Here they do a drag back past 3 players. This one's probably the worst of the entire match. AI goalkeeper just does the worst pass, straight rebounded onto their foot, and it's another goal, 3-0. Before half time they get another chance. I bring the goalkeeper out because I'm getting a bit frustrated with him. They chip him, easy goal. But this is probably the most annoying one to concede. So they have Tomori, their centre back, out here. You can see he's got 56 crossing. Crosses it over to Kubo, who has 39 heading, who flicks it up to De Silva with 57 volleys and 60 finishing to finish us off 5-0. They have another chance right at the end, which, I'll be honest, the referee saved us from a 6-0 because that was always going in. But yeah, unfortunately, we've lost the East Midlands derby very heavily, and that was a game I was really looking forward to. However, you can't always go your way. We had a couple of bad errors from the goalkeeper, and then a couple of mistakes from myself, so maybe next time we'll have a better chance of getting a good result in this game. Now it's time for the lads to board the plane to Germany, because it's time for our Europa League game against Mainz. Now Mainz are doing pretty well in the Bundesliga. I believe they're in the top 7, which is how they qualified for this competition. Last season, I think Forest got into the finals or the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is why we are in this competition ourselves. However, you can see they have one certain guy at the back who's going to be an absolute thorn throughout this. So they have Brzezinski, who's a fairly fast centre-back, but then next to him they have Jeremiah St. Just. Now, if you've been watching my games, you of course know I use quite a lot of Hernane's pace to get in behind people. St. Just is there for the first time in that clip, but just try and count how many times he tackles the ball. So you can see there, he blocks it with a Varane-like leg. Here, Hernane gets through but gets pressured and does a bad cross because of St. Just. This guy is an absolute monster. I want to do everything I can to try and sign him because I know Openda and Fosu-Mensah are both good players, but they're just nowhere near as good as Jeremiah St. Just, which is quite unbelievable given that I've played against Sergio Ramos and found it easier to beat him than this 70-something rated player from Germany. Anyway, we can see we've got a consistent spell of pressure here, giving us some chance, but St. Just gets in the way before a nice volley there from Mainz, and they're starting to get some pressure of their own. They've got Bruma up front, who, even though Opara has 80-something pace, he's not catching up, but thankfully Essa does a nice save after Bruma decides to hit it early, probably intimidated by Opara's stomping feet behind him. However, no one was intimidated there, and Junior has a nice goal against us. Hernane against any other defender is getting through there, but of course it's that man St. Just. You can see here Hernane do a big kick to try and get it out in front of him, but St. Just, not only does he block it, he intercepts it and then rides Hernane's challenge. There, St. Just blocks the cross. Here Hernane's through against Brzezinski, and you can see this is what would normally happen. St. Just not in there. Hernane can easily get through, misses the chance. Probably our only chance to get an equaliser. You can see here, Hernane against St. Just does a bit of trickery. No, St. Just is there. I'm getting a bit bored of saying this guy's name. We flick it over him, but no, he recovers and he's there. This guy was a one-man machine until late into the second half, where they get a second goal, and from this point on, we decide to go all-out attack. Hernane and Elia once again trying to link up front, but Elia's pass is absolutely dreadful. We try and backheel it into Shaqiri, but unfortunately, that man, St. Just, is there. A nice flick from the striker, and a good rebound to Junior, and it's 3-0. Now, I don't want to give the impression that I was unfairly beaten in this one. He did have more shots than me, but I think St. Just blocked about half of my attempts, half of my attacks, just by himself. The rest was just me poorly attacking, and probably on another day it could have been a little bit more even. Once again, St. Just is there after I trying to sprint past him with Hernane, and you can see how this just opens up my team. All of a sudden they're on the attack. Thankfully Joe Bryan gets there in front of Alessandrini, who had just held off Opara and Fosu-Mensah. You'll never guess who wins the long ball forward. Yep, St. Just, but thankfully it goes to Shaqiri. For a change, a defensive midfielder wins it. Opara gets absolutely turned. Essa does a slide tackle and it's in off the post. 4-0. I'm not sure this is what I'd consider a super fair result, However, there's chance for one last goal here. Felipe Anderson, the West Ham wonder boy from a couple of seasons ago, unfortunately misses a one-on-one. He could have done anything. He could have chipped the goalkeeper, gone round him. Thankfully, he chose a finesse and it didn't quite make it in. But 4-0. I'd say probably a 2-0, maybe a 1-0 would have been a fair result there. If it wasn't for St. Just, I really think I would have had a good chance of maybe nicking a goal, especially if he had two Brzezinskis. But that's all we have in this episode, I'm afraid. Like I said at the start, if you've got any suggestions for transfers, especially goalkeeper and defensive midfielder, please let me know. But subscribe if you want to see more episodes in the series, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.